NFL star turned esports coach.
But I was getting the stink eye from my wife. She's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
One might love his Switch more than his girlfriend.
Man, I hope she's not listening to this. Please.
And one's a dad who can't stop playing Rocket League.
These kids these days, they're like, we're used to jump and run.
Together, they welcome you to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge.
Oh, what's up? I'm your host, Ahman Green, along with my good friend, John Audius, man. We are here today, episode 85 of the Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge, to talk about what's going on in the video game world. And that's what we do. We talk about video games. We talk about the game releases that are coming out, our recommendations for you to go play, and obviously us as well. We talk about movie recommendations. It's the whole culture of video games. And then we hit some of the trending topics that we see and out there in the video game world that we go scour the internet. We do a little homework, in the 2 to 3 days before we set up and do the show here. And then we have a fun and entertaining conversation called This or That, where we find out more and more about each other. John and I, in the last year and a half, we found out a lot about each other in terms of this or that fun conversation. And you are welcome to tune in. I say live on Twitch, but obviously podcast listeners, you could just kind of listen and write your answers down and maybe send them in, comment on our YouTube channel as well. But welcome to the Gamers Lounge. Hope everyone is having a great hump day, the week after Thanksgiving. And I want to finish this conversation, John, what we were just talking about with the trying to get through the day, sodas and drinks that we're on. And so I'm drinking a Bang right now, and it says, like I said, natural flavors. It says that cotton candy is a natural flavor, John.
Ahman was reading his ingredients on the Bang. He's like, natural flavors. Cotton candy is a natural flavor.
Let me know what multiverse version of cotton candy is a natural flavor, and I want to go there. I want to go to that. Obviously, this is it. We're in the universe where cotton candy is a natural flavor. What's up, Denai, in the Twitch chat, man? I know you've been playing on that Halo Infinite. I have been too. But just letting you know that Bang cotton candy is a natural flavor. It says it right there. You see right under it says cotton candy. It says natural flavors. Didn't know that. I learned that today.
Ahman is going to be jacked up with that Bang. You got the natural cotton candy flavor and all the caffeine in that thing.
I needed it, man. I've been up early. Like I was telling you about the Artie app that we had. That's been great. We've been trying to use it. And the technician, Shelly, and Avron have been helping me over the last 3 weeks to get it up and running again. And something with my computer updated and did something different, in which we know that the computers, the consoles, they do their updates, and then something comes in there that's put in there that may not work with another app. So we've been brainstorming, and so yeah, I had to get this. Like before the show, before I jumped into Zoom and before I hit live, I was like, I'm not going to make it through the show if I don't get something in my system that's going to amp me up for at least an hour. So Bang, there it is. So I'm giving some free advertisement to Bang right now. But questionable on their natural flavors statement there. Just letting you know, Bang. Letting you know.
Questionable.
Let's see where they're based out of. They're based out of Weston. Ooh, I know where this is. Weston, Florida. I've been to Weston, Florida. It's probably about an hour north of Miami. So
okay.
Yeah, right up the 95 freeway. So thank you, Bang. It does say aminos, which is good for you. Ultra COQ10, whatever that is, and creatine, which which is in our bodies. We produce it naturally as human beings, but you can use it as a workout supplement, which I did through my Nebraska. I started using it in Nebraska, then on through my NFL career. That helps the body recover from muscle rejuvenation after a workout or after a game, and obviously still keeps your size. And you were talking about that too. With the holidays, you couldn't do what? You couldn't get in the weight room. You've been drinking more Mountain Dew, bro. What's up with the Mountain Dew?
Well, I mean, right before we started the show, I was like, hold on, let me get something to drink. So I went in my refrigerator. Of course, I could have grabbed some water easily and started just drinking water. But no, my brain and my taste buds said, get something sweet. And I was just like, over the last week, I've been able to work out less And it's then Thanksgiving. You're just eating all the Thanksgiving stuff, all the pie, and I have my daughter at home, and I have my work schedule has been double the amount of workload for me, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna eat whatever is gonna go in my body at this point. And it's frustrating too because I worked out hard yesterday, Ahman. You'd be proud of me. Like my legs are super sore. It hurts to stand up. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I feed my body 29 grams of added sugar just because.
And it's so many other things in Mountain Dew that you probably don't even know how to pronounce, to be honest. But they make it. It is popular among gamers. It's the gamer's lifeblood, I believe, out there. To the Twitch chat, Two Dogs and a Guy mentions that the CEO of Bang seems to be an interesting guy, LOL. So we might have to scout.
I don't know anything about him.
Me neither. We might have to find out about him, John, and reach out
Hold
to
on.
him.
Did he do something? Did he do something crazy
He
or
might
something
be
that we don't know about?
Right. He might be like the Elon Musk, just kind of eccentric, doing his own thing, creating these natural flavors of cotton candy, stuff like that, I just want to know if he was in on that conversation. Because there's at sales companies, and you know this, you worked in that world, you have brainstorm meetings. And so brainstorm meetings, you're sitting there thinking about how you're going to make your product either better or different for the consumer to buy. And so everybody's like, give me your ideas. Just throw them out on the table, throw ideas. And I'm pretty sure somebody said, cotton candy. Let's do that as a natural flavor. And I'm like, I would have been sitting in that meeting like, hold up, time out, hold up. Cotton candy is a processed item. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just tell me that, please. I'm pretty sure it doesn't grow out of the ground.
Cotton candy is sugar.
Processed sugar that is turned into fluff that melts in your mouth.
Yes.
So there is nothing natural about that.
No.
Other than
I'm looking up the Banksy. Jack Owak is his name. I probably mispronounced that. He's got 1 million followers on Instagram. I don't know. But they have a whole lot of chocolata as a flavor. They've got swirly pop. I don't know what that is. Candy apple crisp. So yeah, they are just cranking out like 1 billion different flavors of these things.
I just want to know, of the 1 million followers, how many are gamers? And of all the flavors, how many do they claim as natural flavors? And what qualifies a flavor to be natural? Does it just have to... I don't know. That's what I want to know. Also, in the Twitch chat, that's to the Twitch chat. We got Hulk versus Spawn in here. What's up, man? How you doing? Two dogs and a guy. Deny. We're all in here. So we're trying to find that out. So that'll be the running question throughout the stream today: is the flavors that Bang energy drink puts out? They claim to be natural flavors, starting with cotton candy. Just letting you know from the Twitch chat. So, and everybody listening in for the podcast side of it too, when it goes up on record, that's something you could give us feedback on later on. So between that and last show, John, I've had a good week. I had a good weekend, busy. It's the off season for me with esports, but things have kicked up a notch because now I'm hard into recruiting. So I'm getting, new players to come in. I know I have a few that's going to come in the spring, so winter, after winter break, we got 1 or 2 coming in for sure. And then, so I'm ahead of the curve of recruiting, which is obviously I want to be. I want to hit the goals. So it's 18, 19, 20 new players every year. Last year we took a little hit because of COVID, financially for athletic department here in Lakeland, but we still got to grind. So that is picked up. And then last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I did this to Packer. I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago. Packers have been doing now, teaming up with a third-party company to do fan experiences with former players or even current players during the week. But former players on the weekend, obviously, because the players currently obviously getting ready for their games. So we did like a dinner and chalk talk, so Q&A, so that fans get to ask me whatever, kind of like here in the Twitch chat. Get to ask me whatever you want to ask me. Talk about football, baseball, video games. Whatever I did as a kid, that I peed a bed or whatever, they can ask me those type of questions. And it's fun, so it gives the fans, I say, another view of somebody that they follow, and a super fan for. And then on Sunday, right before the game, I got to hang out with my old friends and teammates, Earl Dotson and Dorsey Levens. And those guys, they were my teammates. I know Dorsey for 2001, and then he got released and unfortunately and went to the Eagles first, and I think the Giants too. And then Earl Dawson, he retired, but after 2000, I think of his back. But they're both doing great. They're both in good health, and it's always good to see those guys. Because obviously we spent a lot of time with each other through training camp, then the full season, and just something that we sometimes as players we don't realize all that time spent was actually good time spent, and we get to know each other. And so to see those guys back, we get to laugh and joke, and we sign autographs for the fans, put smiles on their faces. We did it at Stadium View here in town. So it was always good. And Dorsey, like right away, he was, big brother from another mother. He took care of me right away. And he's still, throwing stuff my way, always checking in on me. When he gets back on it, I don't know if you have a Peloton or anybody out there, but he does little Peloton classes too. And so when he gets back on it, we did that for a while during the lockdown, which was fun. He does that. So
wait, Dorsey Levens is doing Peloton classes?
Yeah, well, he does his own. Like he sends
awesome.
he sends his friends and family a Zoom link. So basically, kind of like us, but he's got his bike, he got his camera set up, and I say
That's
Peloton because
awesome.
that's what I have. But he actually has just his own spin cycle, but he does his own training sessions from there. It's pretty dope.
Oh, that's cool, man. So you could be like a personal trainer online.
Basically,
in a sense, right?
Basically,
You could be like, hey, group class starts. We're going to be working out today. Here's what you need. Let's go.
exactly,
Man.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So to the Twitch chat, what's up, Mad Max? How you doing? Atomic Cino is in the house, and so John, how was your last week coming in?
Like I said, it's been really busy with Thanksgiving. I've been drinking a lot of Mountain Dews. I buy these mini 7.5-ounce cans because it's less Mountain Dew, so I don't feel as bad drinking Mountain Dew.
And that's essential. You don't want to feel guilty on that little pleasure you have there. Don't want to do that.
Right, but just working out. We got. Oh, you know what was fun? Getting the Christmas tree. Are you a real Christmas tree guy?
We were for a little
Okay.
bit, and then now we have not been for probably the last maybe 5 years. We've been artificial.
Artificial. How
Yeah.
tall is your artificial tree?
It's
I'm curious.
It's pretty tall. It's probably like 8.5 feet. It's pretty tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's really fun to go buy trees with kids. Like that's one of the coolest things about Christmas is that my daughter, she's 8, she got to pick out the tree this time. So that's so much fun. And then we cut it down. I started cutting it down, Ahman. They give you a handheld saw. It's just a little tree. It's probably 6.5 feet tall.
Mhm.
And I'm cutting it down and I'm like, this thing is stuck. I don't know what to. And so my wife finished cutting it down for us. While I held the tree, and then she
Right.
finished cutting it down, and then she carried it to the car because she just started carrying it, and I just like, okay, I'm not going to complain. Go carry the tree. That's fine.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So we got a tree for Christmas, and it's awesome. We decorated it the other day. So that's kind of been my life.
Nice.
That and lots of broadcasting games.
Yes. Yeah, I know. You've been
Yes.
busy with that. You've been it's volleyball because it's volleyball playoffs, correct? For Wisconsin,
Yeah, the
for
NCAA
Big
tournament
Ten.
starts.
Or
Wisconsin,
NCAA, right?
Wisconsin Badgers. Come on. I don't care where you're listening to this. Wisconsin Badgers, number 4 overall seed. So the
Ooh.
4th best team in the entire tournament. They don't seed them one. They don't have like 4 number 1 seeds in the volleyball tournament. They just
Okay.
have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are your top 4.
Okay.
Instead of 4 number 1s like they do in basketball. But that means they'll be hosting, and yeah, they have a chance to get back to their 3rd straight Final Four.
Nice. I was trying to look it up, but couldn't find.
They just beat Nebraska to win the Big Ten title last
I saw
weekend,
that. I
last
wasn't.
Friday.
Oh. What? So,
Sorry,
but we're
Ahman.
still in the NCAA though. We made it. We had to make
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
I saw that.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
actually watched that because I was trying to catch the last Husker game last weekend, the Iowa game that we ended up losing. But I basically ordered Big Ten real quick to watch it, and I caught the Nebraska-Wisconsin game, which was a good game. It was a good series. I watched both women's teams; they went at it, and so it was impressive.
And what's cool about volleyball is so the tournament is just so much fun because it's this one and done aspect. And then that match, the Wisconsin Nebraska match, was a Big Ten network record setting viewership. I think it was like 375,000 people watched that match for a volleyball match. That is outstanding. I mean, that's almost 500,000 viewers for a volleyball match. So
I was one of them. I know you were
Yeah.
working it, and
Yeah.
what's interesting. My question is, how long Wisconsin volleyball has been at the top of the ranks like this? Because I know Nebraska's basically been like this since I left in '97. They've always been top 10. So when did Wisconsin get in the crack the top 10 in volleyball?
So probably within the last 5 years or so. In 2013 is when they kind of broke through again after being down for a while.
Okay.
They were pretty good in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then they kind of dropped off. And then 2013 they kind of came back. So over the last 5 years, they've been really good. They've had back-to-back Final Fours over the last two, but Nebraska's good all the time. They're just always good.
Nice.
Just any just go throw a dart and hit a year and go look up Nebraska, and they probably were at a Final Four or won a national championship or made the tournament or were
Right.
like a top 10 team.
Hey, that's one thing I could hang my hat on as an alumni. I could say our girls in volleyball are good.
Yeah, they are.
The
They're
football
amazing.
team, my squad is getting better slowly. I've been talking to Scott and just giving them motivate. Hey man, tough game, but they were there. Just one or two plays here and there. So I'm
Hey,
excited.
I got a question. I got a football question for you.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I think of things. I got to ask him on this.
Okay.
Football pads nowadays. I was watching the Packer game, and all these guys, it looks like they're barely wearing shoulder pads. Like they're so tiny, and I'm thinking, are shoulder pads that much better in 2021 that they can absorb the contact, or did guys just get sick of, walking around with shoulder pads out to their, where it looked like you could barely fit through a door?
It's a combination of both. So when I was playing, there were guys that literally took the inside, the skeleton off, so the hard part off of the shoulder pad. Like defensive ends would do it, kickers would do it, and some quarterbacks would do it. Guys that were just drop back quarterbacks that obviously had really good defensive lines and not get hit a whole lot. They basically had the foam part, but obviously there's a skeleton part that's the rock, that's the little hard plastic part on top of that. The cushion part goes to our skin, and then we had these other little pad, kind of like a bulletproof vest. I called it a bulletproof vest, but it was a shocker. It was called a shocker, so it absorbed the contact. So you would put that on first, then your shoulder pads on top. And so for anybody that wore a shocker, you were a thumper. You bang. So I was a banger. I hit a lot. That means it would absorb, and then obviously my body wouldn't feel all the hits. And so now people are just using those shockers. They have better ones now. But some people, you're right. What you're seeing is right. You see guys that are literally out there with nothing on, and I'm like, what are they thinking? I'm like, because if a guy like me was still playing, i.e., Derrick Henry, trying to think, A.J. Dillon, as a linebacker, I don't want to tackle them guys with nothing on. Basically, I don't get the mindset. I think part of the mindset is they feel faster, or they feel they could reach better, wrapping up or throwing the ball. But I'm like, look, this is football. You need I almost wore every pad pretty much that was available to wear sometimes for a football player. Shoulder pads, elbow pads, knee pads, double knee pads. And I was like, nah, I don't want to feel everything. I want to protect myself out here banging around. So let's get off to our first little segment, quick hitting news bites. So we got Halo Infinite coming out. So I'm gonna talk about this probably for another month. So every other episode. So Halo Infinite, they basically updated the battle pass, so it got way better. So now, John, I know you probably haven't been playing it because you've been super busy. You had good reasons.
Right.
So 2 weeks ago, they launched the whole Halo Infinite beta, and it was just multiplayer, which has been great. I got my samurai skin now, so I'm part of. This is like your metaverse, my metaverse reference there. I got that, and you had to play in this one play mode called Fiesta. So pretty much Fiesta is obviously means party, and so that means every weapon you respawn with, you play from, kind of like the gun that's behind me here, over there, boom, and rocket launchers, the needler, all different sorts of weapons. So you gotta learn how to shoot different weapons. So you can that's what Fiesta was, but then you earn your XP, your experience points. And at a rate of 50 points to 300 points, the 50 points was every game, but then 300 points was every other game. But now they updated to now it's like a nice little tier system that you start off. Here, let me go here in an article. So your first game, no matter what you do, your first game now you earn 300 experience points. Then in the second and third game, you go 200. And then 6 and 7 or games 4 through 6 is 100 XP. And so the current structure, which grants you 50 XP per match, like I said, so that's not until the 7th game. So you could play 7 to 8 games where you probably get over close to 2,000 experience points in a day. And that will rank you up a lot faster. So they're helping us, which
okay.
A gaming company is like, you know what, we're going to throw y'all a bone. You know, they saw the grind of people playing to get the samurai skin. And like I said last week, they have the tier system now. So I'm kind of liking this. 343 Studios, thank you. Microsoft, thank you for all the gamers that have been grinding on Halo Infinite. It's made our lives a little bit easier to get all the skins that we have to unlock or the other items, you know, like a cool visor, another helmet design, things that attach to your armor. You know, it's more cosmetic. It doesn't help you game any better, but you can look good. You can look different. You can have your cool items that you get to pick for your avatar in the game, more entertaining for your sake. But does it help you shoot better? No, I'll say that. But in 343, they do, or in the new Halo Infinite, they do have a shooting gallery. It's a weapons academy or weapon drills. You could go in there and shoot the guns and learn how to fire away. So that's the part I love about it. I'm trying to say, and then so Hawk in the Twitch chat says Hawk versus Spawn says Halo Infinite takes forever to level up. So now that's not a problem, Hawk. You level up a lot faster. And then also Two Guys and a Dog says those first games played rewards are much better now, helping for Spawn tweaks. All the playlist add come on release day. So yeah, on release day we get the campaign, and then we get all the other potential game modes that we're kind of been, you know, still testing because it's still in beta mode. So that's still testing mode for it's the gamer definition, John. So
that's pretty cool. So that's a violent video game, Ahman, which leads to my story.
Good segue. Good segue.
So here is the headline I saw. So there's going to be some words I'm going to screw up. Longitudinal study finds no evidence that violent video games lead to aggression. Okay. This is from scipost.org. And, you know, we've always heard this long-standing, I guess, myth is what you could probably categorize it as, is that video games are going to lead to violence, right? They're going to make you more violent as a person. The detrimental impact. So this study by Molecular Psychiatry found that playing a violent video game every day for 2 months had virtually no impact on participants' aggression or pro-social behavior. So there have been studies kind of either way, and most of them take a short-term look at, like, you play a video game for an hour and then they see, are you more aggressive? But this one took 2 months. And Ahman, as I was reading more into this study, I thought it was so amazing. Number one, that, you know, we kind of find out that, you know, aggression or whatever, that's probably not linked to video games as much as we think it is. But there were adults between the ages of 18 to 45 randomly assigned to one of three groups. So if you're part of the study, the violent video game group was assigned to play Grand Theft Auto for at least 30 minutes a day for 2 months. Okay. An active control group played a non-violent video game, The Sims 3, for that same amount of time. And
Good
the
games.
passive controlled group was not assigned to play any video game, but was tested alongside the other participants. But I just thought it was funny, like, all right, here's what we need you to do. You need to play video games 30 minutes a day for 2 months. Like, imagine if you signed up for that study, you'd be like, and you probably were getting paid. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I need that study. I don't know why I didn't get
Right?
I didn't get the notification for that. I could have did that. That's my job, pretty much. That's part of my
If you're
job.
able to sign up for video game studies like throughout 12 months a year, and you just made like $1,000 here, $1,000 there, just playing
I'm
video games on the
in.
side.
That's another dream. That's a daydream of mine. Like, oh, I'm coaching video games now. I'm recruiting kids for it, and then now I get the game test pretty much and get paid for it. What happened? Why did I play in the NFL for 12 years? I could have did this for my whole life, man. Like, come on. That is, so that definitely is interesting. But you know what? This molecular psychiatry, they could have hit us up, said that's not a real thing. Since I was a kid, and they've been putting out the statistics of video game violence. Does it relate? They've always talked about it in the news. There's parents, there's father groups that would say, oh, don't play, don't let your kids play violent video games. When look how I turned out. Look how you turned out, John. I played between Halo, what is it, GoldenEye, Street Fighter. I was playing Street Fighter. That's a fighting game. That's a violent game.
Mortal Kombat.
Where you're ripping spines out of people's bodies. And never once did I think I could go outside and do that to a friend. And did it. I never really attempted. No. So yeah, I mean, they could have just came to us and said, you know what, we already know this is not gonna. But they wanted to do it the scientific way to try to prove. Obviously, I love the article like this because obviously it brings a little ray of sunshine to the gaming industry. Because obviously I remember growing up seeing articles of things referring to this kid doing something, and they try to relate it to him or her playing video games for X amount of times, and the parents should have regulated it that time for the kid to develop, and he or she didn't develop the right way, so that's why he or she did the violent act. And I'm like, that's just a percentage. That's not you can't put that across the whole gamerverse of how kids develop in their head and be like, okay, I did this in a video game, I could do this in real life. The only thing in a video game that I even tried, did I ever try to do something in a game
and then tried to do it in real life?
Right, I'm trying to think. I said the only thing I probably did was
because Ahman, that happens in the movies and TV. That's why
True.
they say do not attempt this at home.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I think as a kid, I would act like Super Mario and try to jump real high, land on a Goomba. You know how you could bounce off the Goomba and bounce on another Goomba? That's about it. I probably almost dislocated a knee because I fell from a tree. I jumped from a tree. I used to do all type of jump from a fence and hyperextend my knee one time, thinking I was Super Mario. You could quote that. You could quote me on that. So we have the Twitch chat filling up here. We have Triple Nickel Pickle Tickle in the house. Probably my favorite name in this one. I mean, that one, he put some thought into that one. JFK, what's up, man? How you doing? He said, what's up, Ahman? But damn, second time I didn't get a notification. Hey, that means you got to turn on your notifications. Big JFK and Big B's in the house. Big B. There you go, John. Big B's in the house. And then and I saw a comment by Atomic Sino. He said, I haven't played Halo since Halo 4. So I'm looking forward to trying out Infinite when I can finally track down a Series X. Well, you can still play it on Xbox X. You don't need a Series X, which is the newer Xbox out there. So they're hard to find. PlayStations are still hard to find, too, for everyone. It's the chip. The chip is... high supply, low demand, or high demand, low supply. Yeah, I had that flipped. I always do that in my head. I flip things around. So let's get on to where are we headed now, John? Oh, we're headed. You know where we're headed. We're going to
this
or that. All right, John.
Okay. This or that. You gotta fill me in what's going on in the very first one, Ahman. It's all from the mind of Ahman Green.
So the first
Toilet
one,
paper or Clorox wipes?
It's a pandemic, man. We still technically in a pandemic. Because remember all the toilet paper people was running to the stores at the beginning of the pandemic. It was like getting toilet paper. I'm like, is everybody coming out with explosive diarrhea or something? Like, what's going on?
Everybody freaked out. It was so funny.
Man,
I need toilet paper. COVID's here. You never know what's gonna happen. Give me all the toilet paper. It was weird, wasn't it?
Right. It's like you went to toilet paper when it wasn't even a type of virus that made your body do that. That was the question. I was like, is people having super diarrhea or whatever? I was like, why is this?
Were they afraid? I think people were afraid.
Fear.
Everything was gonna shut down. right?
Right.
That you weren't that the whole world, that this thing was going to be so bad that like everything was going to shut down. You wouldn't be able to go anywhere because why? Because you could die if you went outside.
Correct.
And so they were thinking, what's going to happen after a month or 2 months or 3 months when the stores aren't open and now we don't have toilet paper in the house? You know what I mean? That's, I think, what the thought process was for some people. I don't know. That's all I can come up with.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I got towels in the house. I'll just wash a towel.
We got a shower. Does the water still work?
You better. I'll pay that bill. Man, my power bill and water bill is out of this world.
So I will go
So, yes.
with Clorox wipes because I think that's way more important because I could understand the hand sanitizer or the Clorox wipes because you're trying to kill viruses and germs. So I'll go with that.
Gotcha. So I'm a tag along with you there. Clorox wipes, obviously you can use that for obviously wipes ups in the kitchen, your hands. So it's multi-use. Kind of like I was a jack of all trades. So I like something that has one, it does multiple things, multiple jobs. I like that. So the Clorox wipes, I'm there with you. To the Twitch chat, it says, Atomic Xeno says, depends on the cleaning that I'm doing. And so Big Boom Hauer, and two guys and a dog also say wipes as well. So wipes all around. Clorox wipes, baby. They're cleaning up the place.
Next, this or that, Ahman, card games or video games?
So I know in the Twitch chat, we have quite a few card game players, like the video game card. Or I say not video game, but like Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering players in the chat. So JFK also said wipes as well. And then Atomic Xeno says, I don't think we're supposed to use bleach on food prep services. True. That is a true statement. That's somebody that works in the food industry, just so you know. That is correct. So just wipe it down with water after that. Just clean up off that. But you said board games, or no, card games or video games, correct? That was it?
Card games or video games? I want to go video games.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, there are some
any
fun card games.
Yeah, but most card games you can also play as a video game too, right?
Now, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I went over a friend's house. Actually, this weekend too, I went over a good friend's house, Joe Franzoy, if I'm saying his last name correctly. He lives in Appleton, and he invited me over his, I think it was his father-in-law's house, and we played cards. And we played this one game. It's called 312. It was called 312, and it was basically so you play 10 rounds. And you had to have, obviously 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to the king. And the king being, you would get like 10 or 15 cards. And so the wild card was whatever round we were on. So when we're on round 3, the number 3 card is the wild card. So you could play it as any card. So you got to have a straight or a flush or a row of numbers that are, numerical.
I'm already confused. But
But a fun game. It was a fun game. I'll say that it was a fun game, obviously, but I've been a gamer for a long time. But now I know another game because I played Rummy. I played Ship Captain Crew, which is a fun game. Left, right, center. You come to the Green Resident, you're gonna get educated in some card games. We have card games here along with video games. And to the Twitch chat here, we have two guys and a dog says holidays. I will go card games, nothing like friends and family, spades, and is that EUCHRE?
Euchre.
Euchre, is that euchre? Okay, euchre tourneys.
Yeah.
Okay, euchre. I've heard of euchre, never played euchre.
Ooh, don't want to get into euchre for me. It's confusing.
Is
Come on,
it?
like, listen, maybe you shouldn't take advice from me on card games because like all card games seem confusing to me.
Right.
But euchre in particular, I'm like, it's intimidating because people will be like, just play, you'll start to get it. And like 20 minutes in, you're like, okay. And then they're like, now you're on your own. And you're thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing still. Here's a card. And then you just play all the wrong cards. That's the way I feel. I feel dumb when I play euchre.
Oh, that sounds kind of like the first round for me because I actually gave up my wild card and forgot and didn't realize it. I was like, oh man, I gave my wild card away. But that's usually how people play. They like tell you just enough of the rules so you won't beat them, basically. which I think is the way is competition. You see the real competitor comes out of people. They were like, they just give you enough information to understand, but then after that, you're on your own. They just throw you out on the. It's like walking the plank.
But card games in general, I agree with that last comment that we play Uno at Thanksgiving. So we played Uno this last week, and it's fun. It's a blast, man. Uno's a fun game.
Uno is cool with somebody in our age range. Have you played Uno? So your daughter played, but
Yep.
But did she have any friends over? That's the question.
No, it was just us three.
So I've played Uno with millennials and what's the Generation Zers, like 10 years. Gen Z. So between millennials and Gen Z, they changed the rules now for Uno.
What?
So Uno,
How?
they put their own rules in. So they don't go off what comes on the box. They go off of what's going on around their age group. Because I played with my daughters, in their generation, I say Gen Z. No, not quite. I say millennials. They're definitely millennials. They're 20 and 24. And we're playing against them when they were a little bit younger. And they were saying that, the draw four, it was something where they could draw more. You could draw four and then also, I think, take another. It was crazy. It was some.
Was it called? I've heard of people called stacking. So, like, if I had to draw four, and then into Mon's turn, you could put a draw four, and then if it's next person's turn, they could put a draw four, and then the next person would have to draw 12.
Yeah, stuff like that. That don't fly.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. That's something that's kind of like what they were doing. And had my guy rest his soul, my dad was like so mad. It's like, Ahman, you're raising cheaters. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, Dad, I don't even know what they're coming up. These are 10 and 5-year-olds. They're coming up with these crazy sick rules that it destroyed Uno for me at that time. Destroyed Uno. So to the Twitch chat, we have JFK said Spades is a different intensity. It is. I played Spades with people when I was in college. And then obviously Two Dogs and a guy I mentioned, Euchre. Hawk versus Spawn also says, we played cards after Thanksgiving. With the whole time I was thinking I could be playing the new Battlefield, LOL, which is a good statement there. I say observation. And then Atomic Sino says video games for him. And the only card game I played the last year was Cards Against Humanity, of course. That is a no-brainer, fun game. You got to have thick skin for that game. For anybody that haven't played Cards Against Humanity, you got to have thick skin for that. And then JFK says, yeah, I won more money off cards than video games, but I'm trying to change that. All right, JFK, good luck in that change. All right, next item on the list. John?
All right, you got to explain this one to me, too. So live in a tent for 1 week or stay at home for 2 weeks.
All right, this is, another pandemic, going through that, what we went through. So
I'd rather stay at home for 2 weeks. I don't want to live in a tent for more than 2 days. If possible.
So you've never been camping? So you've been camping, yes or no?
Well, I went camping this last summer, and I stayed in tents 2 nights, and that was about it for me. Like, I get it, because it's a lot of work. I went...
That's true.
What's it called? Boundary Waters up in northern Minnesota. And
Okay.
We're paddling our canoe. We pick it up. We carry it across the land. We paddle it again. We find a little island. And then you got to take all the crap out of your backpacks and put all the tents up and put all the stakes in. And then you're hungry, and then you got to start the fire. Like, I don't want to go live in a tent for more than 2 days, man. A lot of work.
Hey, this is how our ancestors lived. You don't want to live and feel like what your ancestors felt like years ago when we were migrating across the great Pangea continent?
I couldn't imagine what it would be like even like 200 years ago, let alone 400 or 500 years ago when you're traversing that would have been awful.
Right. Well, for me, I could do it. I'm a camper. I grew up going camping for a week on end. It was a summer camp program growing up in Los Angeles it was by UCLA Unicamp. And they would take the premise behind, they introduced kids obviously to the wilderness, but the particular group of kids were inner city kids, John. Okay. So this was South Central LA kids. That's where I grew up, Crenshaw, Dorsey High School, kids from the Compton area. So kids that are not used to being in the wilderness, being around real bears, dark nights where you can only see the stars and birds and different animals and all that, right? And so the funny thing about this, going on this trip was every year, I went 3 summers in a row, there was the bus ride to the mountains. So it's about an hour and a half, 2-hour ride from Los Angeles to the Sierra Nevada mountains. And so for every ride, by my second year, I tuned into the fact that we had all the little so-called gangsters that were on the bus, like, oh man, I'm gonna punch a bear in the face, and if a deer walk up on me, I'm gonna do this and that, and I'm just sitting there like, you go, okay, I can't wait till we get there, because I've got all these trash talkers. They gonna be Davy Jones up in the mountains, or Paul Bunyan. They gonna chop down great oaks, and so we get there. We're in the tent. I mean, we're in a little like a cabin, but the cabin has no power. We have a tent. You put up like you said, you put your tent up, your sleeping bag, and then that's the week. That's like the 3-4 days before we go on a week. We go on a 2-day hike, and the hike is like 7-mile hike. And then once we get there, we pitch our tents, we set up our fire, we tell little campfire stories, and we are out there in the wilderness, John. We were between the ages of 10 and 12 years old. We have the UCLA camp counselors, college students with us to, maintain us, manage us, make sure we don't wander off somewhere and become hermits in the mountain cave. And so, yeah, I would watch these gangsters get real soft real fast. When we're sitting there telling the campfire stories, they like, where are you sleeping at? They be like, what you mean? I'm gonna sleep next to you, man. I'm scared. I'm like, bro, I thought you were Crip. You was cripping, talking all like you was gonna dominate the wilderness. You're gonna make the wilderness a Crip territory. Or now you scared of Bambi. Like, oh, you scared of Bambi now. I gotcha. It was so funny to me. That was my entertainment. When I would get there, we do that summer camp. So I wouldn't mind being in a tent. I've been trying to get my wife to do it for years, and friends here in the Green Bay area. And you know what I'm talking about if she's watching. Kelly Powers, Dave Powers. We're gonna get in. I'm gonna get her in the tent. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna be out in the wilderness, in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, or maybe I don't know, Canada somewhere. So,
Okay.
so sorry for the story there. Yep.
No, I'm on a live in a tent. I love it.
Yeah.
Next, this or that. Would you rather wear a mask for 2 years or repeat 2020? And I think this is an easy one. I'm going to repeat 2020. Why would you wear a mask for 2 years?
I don't know. That's a good question.
See, if you don't have to relive 2020, you can just do whatever you want. There's no COVID or whatever. But now you're out and about and wearing a mask. Oh, wait. Are you talking about like a face mask?
No. I'm talking about the men. Good question. But no, the mask that we are now having to wear going into populated areas, if you're not vaccinated.
Oh, I was thinking like a Halloween mask.
That would be dope. That would be sweet, but it's not that. Talking about the, what they have the Q, what's it, the Q55? That's the actual.
Oh, I'll wear a mask for 2 years then, because then I can go out and about, right?
Yeah.
Mask for 2 years. Not Halloween mask like I was thinking.
Right. Like the masks don't bother me. Like especially here in Wisconsin, I think you probably experienced this too, John, that actually having a mask on keeps your face a little warmer in the wintertime. So that's a plus. I know Miami or Texas, Florida, California, southern states may not have that issue or may have that issue, but we don't. I say in Wisconsin, that is like a plus. I'm like going out now, it's 30 degrees, 25. That mask makes it a little bit more warmer there. So back to the Twitch chat. So Big B says he'll stay in for 2 weeks. He'll stay inside for 2 weeks. In the same boat as Mr. Wick there. He's talking about you, John.
It's me.
So what was you about to say?
I was gonna say, I forgot what I was gonna say. What were we talking about? A mask.
Mask. We're talking about masks and wearing them.
In the winter.
Yes.
Ahman, people who don't know the cold don't realize how much that mask to me is a real game changer outside. It's almost as if we've had ski masks, right? I mean, it's not like scarves. It's not like people haven't figured out covering your face in the winter is a good idea, but I think maybe we forgot about it for a while. Mm-hmm. And these masks are awesome. And in fact, I want to design like a winter mask, one that you can wash, one that's it's just a mask that you can wear out to the store or whatever, but it's warm. It's even warmer than a normal face mask because wearing a face mask helps so much in the winter. I want to do it the rest of my life just to stay warm. I'm
surprised that's not around. I'm surprised nobody's come up with that one. That's a good idea.
Right.
I like that.
Let's go.
Yep. And so to the Twitch chat, Big B from the playing cards question, he says, does Bob Uecker, the whole Brewers analyst, play euchre? Good question.
Good question.
Yep. And he says also he's got Packers Uno. So I wonder who are on the cards for Packers Uno other than the G. I know G's on there. So Hawk versus Spawn says, if I can wear the Darth Vader helmet, I pick that for 2020 all over again. Between Darth Vader, Black Panther, and that Master Chief helmet right behind me here, I'm with you there, Hawk versus Spawn. And then
I like the idea of Packers Uno. Like a reverse is something in football. So like the reverse card makes a lot of sense.
yes, it does.
Draw 4. Green Bay Packers 4.
That's Brett's number.
That's Brett's number. Draw 4.
He's got to be on that card. He's got to be on that card.
Green and gold could be some of the colors, and then
Of course.
you could put like Bears colors. I don't know. No,
Yeah.
it's Packers Uno. I don't know. I think we may have some fun with that.
We may have a fun. And then Big B mentions here that thick masks are face warmers. So that's what we were talking about. They basically are. And that's a game changer here in the Midwest, upper Midwest, where we are. All right, next item on the list. A fun one. Now we're getting a little bit more fun ones here.
Dragon or unicorn? I'm going unicorn for sure. Magical.
Nice. And I'm right there with you. I just the idea that, because and then also that people use the word unicorn kind of as, oh, you're like that unique, special, different. They call Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks forward, the unicorn of basketball because of what he can do physically. His nickname is the Greek Freak as well. So you're like very special in a good way. And unicorns are cool. What was the Deadpool version of the unicorn? Was pooping stars or something like that? Diarrhea of the galaxy of stars. It was hilarious. You gotta watch. It's Deadpool 2, I think, or 1.
I haven't seen Deadpool 2.
Man,
I don't think I've seen I've seen Deadpool.
yeah.
I don't remember unicorns.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, he took it to a whole nother level when he had the unicorn pooping stars. It was crazy. It was hilarious. It was so funny.
All right, next one.
Yes.
In or out? Wait. In and Out or Shake Shack?
Yes. You know what these are, right?
I've never had Shake Shack. I've had In and Out.
Okay.
So I got to go with In and Out burgers.
So
yeah.
Shake Shack is where I first saw it. It was obviously big city. It was one was in Chicago, and the other one was in Los Angeles. So it's kind of on that same level as In and Out, I guess, of taste of burgers. Yeah. And so that's why I put it in there with In and Out. But I'm an In and Out person. Obviously, growing up in California, that was kind of a treat that we would go to on the weekends with the family. Go through the drive-thru or even go sit inside the restaurant. So In and Out is the spot. French fries are delicious. I think that's all they do. They don't do nothing. They don't do chicken tenders. They don't do nothing else but burgers and fries and shakes. And that is a burger place for you. So if you live in California, Arizona, Nevada, Texas now, they're in Texas. They've been in Texas for a while. You can definitely enjoy In and Out. So In and Out burgers for me. So to the Twitch chat, Two Dogs and a Guy says Culver's. Culver's, yeah, we know Culver's here in Wisconsin.
Culver's is fantastic.
Yep. And Hawk versus Spawn says, I don't think we have. Oh, he's a Nebraska guy. He said, I don't think we have In and Out in Nebraska, but we have Shake Shack now. Oh, sweet. Okay. And there's one in the UNL, also on campus in the UNL Student Union. That's awesome. And then he said, Big B says
awesome.
Also AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk also. Where's that one from, Big B? You got to explain that comment.
Uno?
From Uno? Oh,
Uno?
Yes. There you go. Boom. Probably Uno.
What number was AJ Hawk?
He was 50. He was 50.
So how does that fit into Uno?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Big B, you have to explain that one, buddy.
Explain yourself, Big B.
All right. Next item. Last item. Fun item.
Movies, 10 Things I Hate About You or Pretty Woman. I just watched 10 Things I Hate About You, or it was on in the background like a few weeks ago. So I'm going to go with 10 Things I Hate About You.
So this would be your date movie pick? That was date movies.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's more modern than Pretty Woman, but it's fun.
Gotcha. I'm going to have to go. I'm with you there. This was a movie. It was actually shot and filmed in Seattle
Okay.
right before the year before my rookie year. So when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, that's not far from my house, or that's not far from that restaurant I've been. I'm like, that's Seattle. I'm like, oh, it's dope. It's dope. You know, you just get that little warm feeling like, oh, they shot a movie not far. I know those areas, you know.
I didn't know that.
Between 10 Things I Hate About You and then second or third season of The Real World. Actually, the Real World Seattle was getting shot during my junior year, or not junior year, my rookie year in Seattle, excuse me. And I was like, oh, that's dope. I tried to crash it, but I never could. I could never get time to go over there or remember because I'd be too tired. I was trying to crash The Real World in Seattle, but it never happened. So I tried. So to the Twitch chat,
That would have been nice.
yeah, it would have been nice. So Big B says, and you have your own individual card for Uno. So I think he's referenced to me. And then he says, also read my comment below, or below the unicorn emoji. Oh, he says Favre, Gatto, Rogers, and Favre are on the draw 2 cards. Okay, gotcha. Now that's to his one comment about AJ Hawk. And so Two Dogs and a Guy says Pretty Woman would be his pick.
Okay.
And then Big B says it's the normal Uno numbers with different players. Got you. So each card that is close to that number, or player had that number, would be on that card. That's what he's referring to there. Got it, John? You thinking about it?
Yeah, but I thought Uno only goes up to like 9.
I haven't played it in a while. I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever. We're on to something though.
And we're on to
Release the games. It's time for the game releases. Game releases.
game releases coming at you.
I know the cue is the howl by Ahman. That's my cue to start talking. Let me go first here.
You can go first, sir.
A game called Solar Ash. It's on PS5 and PS4 and PC. So I was watching some of the trailer for this, and you can see behind me kind of what the graphics look like.
Yep.
Solar Ash. It's a 3D platformer that uses speed and movement and fluidity as you navigate the terrain. So basically, you're Ray. That's Ray, and then you go into a black hole. So the graphics, I love the graphics, by the way. I love the way this looks.
Yeah.
And then you go into a black hole to try to save your homeworld. You got to go in there for some reason. And you skate around like that. And it's really fast moving and very fluid movements with the gameplay. And they say you cover great distances with this speed. So you're able to just zip through these lands. And the whole game they talk about is being about movement. You flow through the world and you try to defeat violent creatures on your way to trying to save your home planet. But you're in this black hole. And it's called Solar Ash. It's about $20. Like I said, PC, PS5, and PS4. And I really if you just go watch like the trailer, the gameplay looks cool. It looks really fun. And it looks really, like when they talk about the fluidity, you can tell how fluid these movements are. So Solar Ash, that's the way, or that's what I'm picking for my game release this week.
All right, thanks for the recommendation there. And I watched the video once you put it in. They run a show last night, and it reminds me of the game. It's a game on Xbox Game Pass, and it came out a few years ago. It's called Willow and the Wisp or something like that, and it has a character named Willow, and it almost looks like, was it Ash that's behind you? Or what's the name?
Oh, that's Ray.
Ray.
It's Ray.
So Ray, even though Willow.
Oh, it looks just like it.
Yeah,
just
a little smaller than Willow. Or I already forgot the name. I'm sorry about that.
Will of the Wisp.
Ray. Yeah, Will of the Wisp and Ray are similar characters. So similar game design in terms of graphics, and very cool, very very cool. So the game I'm coming with, I kind of went down your philosophy of picking games was like the name just popped out to me. So seeing Happy Humble Burger Farm, okay, say that 12 times in a row. And this is on Steam, PS4, Xbox One, and your Switch. So you got to go back a generation to actually play on this. But it's a really good price. It's economy friendly. It's $17 to $19 on Steam or any of those places. But it says welcome back to the Happy Humble franchise. So your character, you've been hired to manage a wildly popular fast food restaurant. So think of yourself like what's that one that was in that Keenan and Kel show, Good Time or Good Burger, something
Yeah.
like that.
Or you're at an In-N-Out Burger or a Shake Shack.
Exactly, but it's something going on here. So it's check in with your on-site manager, Toe. So your name is Toe, and you get to work. So it says get moving and grooving as you sling chilled burger patties like an absolute hamburger hero 10 to your customers, and don't mess up. Any infractions are taken out of your daily payment, just like any other job. You mess up on a job, come out. You break it, you buy it, basically. And so it's, if you're feeling confident, flip on to the drive-through and get your second set of customers flowing in. But be careful, things may just get too hectic to keep a hold on. And then Happy might get mad. So Happy is obviously the owner, and you don't want Happy to get upset. So make sure you don't do that. So you make burgers, and you watching the video. It's basically it's a sandbox. You build your own, character, but obviously you got to do the jobs within the storyline. But then it gets a little, watching the video, I started seeing demons and ghosts, and so I think the Happy Burger place is haunted. So just so you know, so it has a little funky twist in there. When you watch the video, you can go to it's called happyshumble.com. You can go there and watch the video, learn more about the game. But it's not just selling burgers. Just letting you know that. And it's, like I said, it's on Steam. Great price of $17.99. That is nice holiday prices right there for you. And it comes out this Friday, December 3rd. So check it out. Happy's Humble Burger Farm. Even though it's happy, I don't think it's humble. And you got to enjoy. Try to figure it out, play it, download it, and have fun with it. So that is our 2 game release recommendations for the week. And so now we're heading on to probably one of my favorites.
Row, row, row your boat gently up the... sorry. Excuse me. It's time for What's on Stream.
Woo! What's on stream? Tired? Whew. We made it up here.
You get working out? You good?
We're working out, rolling up the stream here, and our recommendations here. You want to start again, or you want me to take it, buddy?
Sure. We've been talking about this. I've been so I'm on I'm juggling 3 different TV series at once now.
Same here.
And they're all coming out once a week. So what I'm trying to avoid is binging all of them and then being done with that, and then I'm trying to keep them balanced, where it's still got a couple episodes here, still got a couple episodes here. By the time I get back to this one, there'll be 3 episodes. And anyway, the one I'm talking about is Invasion. It's on Apple TV, and it's one that I've been really, really enjoying. It's basically a science fiction television series where an alien invasion is seen through the different perspectives of various people on different continents throughout the world. And it's really cool, and so far you haven't seen a lot of the aliens. I do like that style. It's more about the story of the people and how they're surviving, and they're leaving. You start to see aliens as it continues on, and you're trying to figure out how are they going to ever defeat them, and everybody has their own different storylines. So I am curious as to how are they going to match all these storylines up at the end. But it's really, really entertaining. If you're into science fiction, you like those alien movies you see every once in a while, but you also enjoy good stories. I like the fact that they're telling perspective stories from 5 different people across the world. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. I'm into it. I'm still trying to get through it. It's called Invasion on Apple TV.
Yep, I'm there with you. I've been watching that. I'm on episode 3 or 4, and I like what you said. The perspective stories. The story. The stories are telling one story, but from different point of views. I love that reference there, and it's interesting to see how people are taking it. And I like how also, I agree with you too, with they haven't really showed aliens somewhere, but they haven't really showed them a whole lot, or not at all, I don't think. But I'm pretty sure as the seasons
they start to
I'll say episodes go by, they'll start seeing little specks here, kind of like if you saw M. Night Shyamalan's Signs with Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix. It wasn't until the end of the movie, and then that one alien walked across the hallway. He was like, hold up,
dude. A lot of you may not like Signs. I don't care how you feel about Signs. I'll say this: the first time I saw Signs, I loved it. I loved that they didn't show the aliens till late.
Yep.
I loved some of the way they presented the aliens. At the end, you're freaking out because all these alien things are happening, but you never see them. And then you see one on the TV screen reflection.
The TV, and then in the hallway, they're in this house at the end too. Oh, Yep.
You're just like, wow, no, that's the aliens. Oh, this is creepy.
The question
I
is,
love it. I like science a lot.
Yeah, me too. Science fiction, science, all of it. It makes sense to me. I'm a science person. Big B says the new Home Alone in that's on Disney Plus. Oh, he said it was awful. Ooh, he's being a hard critic there on the Home Alone refresh, reboot, whatever you want to call it, into a TV series. So I will have to watch that between now and before Christmas to bring in my judgment on that. Big B.
Real quick,
What's up?
he just reminded me of something that I want to review next week. Have you seen the previews for a movie called 8-Bit Christmas? I think it's called on HBO Max.
No, I might have to check into that. 8-bit, that might be a video game reference there. I like the sound of that.
It's starring Doogie Howser. I forget his name.
Oh, Neil Patrick Harris. Neil
Patrick Harris, who's like retelling the story of his childhood to his daughter about wanting to get a Nintendo, and it takes us back to the late 80s, and it has like late 80s references. It's littered with them, baseball cards and stuff, and it's all about these kids' journey to try to get a Nintendo system, because at the time only one kid had it in their neighborhood or whatever. It's pretty good, but we'll talk about that next week.
Neil Patrick, whoever wrote that, jacked my childhood story. They ain't jacked it. I'm gonna tell my story. It's similar to that. It sounds like. And Neil Patrick Harris, didn't he do that in How I Met Your Mother, where he's back telling the story of how he met, in that series?
How he met the mother. Yeah, so basically,
he's an old hat at that. Oh, shout out to him on that. All right. Hulk vs. Spawn says, had a 50-50 choice between Invasion and Foundation, which is also another Apple Plus series there, John. It says, we went with Foundation. Got to check out Invasion next. It said, did you try For All Mankind? Oh, I've seen that too on Apple Plus. Have not watched it yet. Hulk
What's it called?
Spawn. Or For All Mankind. It's been on Apple Plus for a while now, so it's been there for a minute. But it's there, it's there, and it's not going nowhere. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say how you saying you're juggling. They're not gonna go nowhere. All them series are just waiting for us, John. So don't rush. Don't put that stress on yourself. Be like, hey, watch this series, knock it out. Enjoy the world of streaming. Just enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy it. This is for you and me.
You got all the time in the world.
You got all.
You're never gonna catch up, so just enjoy it.
Exactly. You will never catch up. So, my game, or not game release, what's on stream recommendation. So I'm going to the video game world, which is very cool. I like when game companies try to get into the movie industry, movie or TV series industry, because it's to see how far they can push this and how it's going to work. So Arcane is a League of Legends, play on the characters, the champions from the game, and it's a Netflix series. So it describes it as amid the stark discord of twin cities, Piltover and Zon, two sisters fight on rival sides of a war between magical technologies and clashing convictions. So, John, if you ever, we've talked about League of Legends a few times on the show here. So League of Legends, as you know, is a game. It's a battle, multiplayer online battle arena. So that means you have 6 players versus 6 players, and your players that you choose is called your champions, and they have power. So these champions, now League of Legends, Riot Games have took it and put it into a script, a dialogue, and made it into a show. So you got starring Haley Stanfield, Caitlin Long, and Kevin Alejandro as the voices of these characters. So you see basically the lead into what the game is. Obviously they're battling on Summoner's Rift, but they bringing in the some story arcs for all the characters that are the champions you get to choose from. So I kind of like this. I've checked out episode 1 so far, and it looks good. And it being a video game company that is doing this, they look like they put their graphic designers and artists on this series. So the artwork is an actual cartoon version of it, but it looks great. The artwork is beautiful. It just flows and makes it, and it brings in that the League of Legends side of it, that is a video game, but also it looks great up on the screen. So check it out. It's been on Netflix for quite a while now, but Riot Games, Netflix partner up now, is doing some fun stuff. It says adult animation because there's some of the fight scenes. I see that. Yeah, but I think it's something worthwhile. If you play League of Legends, you got to play this game. You got to check it out. And so I'm trying to think, Twitch chat, anything there? It says it's another, so Hawk versus Spawn said it's another sci-fi show about going to the moon. So that's for all mankind. What he was explaining to you there, John.
Yeah, look that up.
Yep. So that brings us to the end of the show. We're here. We're done. We had fun. We got good chat, good engagement from the chat. Thank you very much, Big B, Hawk versus Spawn, JF Cake, Mad Max is in the house, Atomic Xeno, Triple, Nickel, Pickle, Tickle, awesomeness there. I still, Two Guys and a Dog, Big Boom. I want to say thank you for everybody tuning in to the stream / podcast, and it's going to be up later on this evening or tomorrow. And hope you continue to have a good holiday season, because we're still in that time span. And we'll be back next week, and we're going to be talking again. Game releases, what's on stream, and this or that. What you got, John?
And hey, follow us on all social media at AG_Gamers Lounge, at Ahman Green 30, and on Twitch at Ahman Green TV, TikTok as well. I've got my social media at John Audius Radio on Twitter. Also, I have a podcast at JohnCast Podcast. And in fact, a couple more weeks, I'm giving away $500 to a lucky listener. So if you guys want to get in on that, at JohnCast Podcast, go click on a couple episodes, go listen. It's like a interactive secret message type of promotion I'm running. So yeah, I give keywords, and then you get the secret message, and then if you get it correct, you could win $500.
Ooh, I might have to pick your brain on that. You might have to teach me how to do that, so I could do this here on the podcast and on when I'm gaming and streaming at the same time. Gotta help that.
Let's go.
That sounds fun. That's what I like.
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
fun. So Hawk versus Spawn says, "Take care, Greenie. See you next week." Now that I turned on the notification, so you get that notification now. Hawk versus Spawn and JF Cake, and JF Cake still says I'm still on Bebop. Watch it. I'm watching the actual live series now, so looks pretty good. It's fun. So enjoy your week. See you next week, Greenies and crew and John. Adios, mi amigo.